Joined now by the incomparable, one and only. By the end of this interview, he will be my primo officially, I think.
100%.
Anthony Ramos in the house. Thank you so much for joining us here on El Huddle. As a girl from the Heights, you know I was hype about this one.
Yeah.
Personal connection here, not just from the play, from the movie, of course, but I want to start with just your trajectory, because I was reading an article where you said that when you watched the play in the Heights, it sort of changed things for you. It was a pivotal moment in your acting career.
Yeah, no, it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely thought about like quitting just because it was I was auditioning, and I was like really discouraged because of all the roles I couldn't get, and all the no's I kept getting. I'm going on 2-3 auditions a day during the week, like 4 times a week, and so I don't even know how many that is, but I'm just getting no after no after no, and finally I was like, dang, like I need, I maybe I should find something new to do.
Real. Yeah.
And I sat in the audience, and I'm watching these guys, and I'm seeing this whole cast, and they all look like my cousins and friends and people I grew up with, and they all sound like people I grew up with, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't quit. Maybe there is. Yeah. Maybe there is a space. Maybe there is hope. You know what I'm saying? And that, honestly, it kept me going. There's
something to be said about seeing yourself, your perspective, and your story reflected back at you. Like that's. I remember when I first watched the play, I sobbed. I sobbed in the audience. Everybody's looking at me like, "Girl, are you okay?" I went by myself. There was one seat left to go watch it, and I said, "Okay, this seat was meant for me," and it was in the front row, which is kind of tough to watch, but like I literally could see the sweat, the heart, the emotion of it, and that, just watching it back growing up on 191st off of St. Nicholas, like it hit me so hard, because I think we all, as Latinos in this space, if you're in entertainment, in film and TV, you're just looking for a connection. And it's tough when the representation isn't there. It's wild, but you've served as a conduit for so many of us, and you've done so many different projects. From that moment when you went to go see In the Heights, the stage play, to now where you've been now in motion pictures, In the Heights, the show, the actual movie, the film, Hamilton, of course. What has that trajectory been like for you? It's been like, Lynn said something to me. Lynn, who made the In the Heights and Hamilton, he said something to me one time. I cracked a joke during rehearsal when we were still on Broadway, and I said a joke, and then I kind of was like self-conscious about the way I said it, and I was like, I feel like I talk too hood. I need to change the way I speak. I said that, and he was like, yo, you don't have to change the way you speak, Baba. You just need to make sure people understand you. Oh my God.
And I was like, and I think after he said that, it was like something clicked in my brain, and I just didn't move the same way, and I wasn't, I don't know, it was just like in that one moment I felt, and I'm sure, people have told me like, you're enough, and you're more than enough, and things like that don't ever change, but sometimes it takes somebody to say something a certain way for something to click in your brain, and in that day, something just changed in me, and ever since that day, I just I moved through the industry in that way, and like even when I take roles, I was just having a meeting with a director yesterday on a movie that potentially doing this film, and you know what I'm saying, and he said to me, what draws you to the roles that you do, and I said, the ability for me to bring myself to every single role. If he's a cowboy, if he's a astronaut, whatever he is, the ability for me to bring the Puerto Rican kid from the projects in Bushwick, Brooklyn, to that role, whoever that whoever that is. Even if I'm doing a southern dialect, or Chicago, whatever, I'm still there's still those pieces of me. So I think that's kind of like, that's kind of how I approach it now. You know.
I married a Puerto Rican man from Park Slope.
From Park Slope, yes. Word.
And he literally just had a story just like that. He was in a Zoom meeting, and someone brought up an idea. He said, yo, that's dope. And everyone almost took it like a joke, like, oh, that's so funny that he's like, nah, that's like how I would talk anyway, just because I'm in a corporate space. Like, this is still who I am.
Right.
So that really clicked with me a lot. Yeah. Someone asked me yesterday, like, how do you separate, MJ, the reporter, the host, from like, and I'm like, I don't.
Right.
And I don't think I can or should do that because we're always searching for that authenticity, right?
Yeah.
And you can't fake the funk. Like, people will know if you are trying to make yourself out to be something you are not. Has there been, I'm sure there's been times where they've tried to put you in this box that you have no business being in, nor did you want to be in, right?
All the time.
Yeah.
I mean, not as much anymore because I just don't allow it,
Yeah.
but it takes for you to not allow it because people will do it. If you let them, people will do whatever you let them allow them to do,
Yep.
and that's just life in general.
Yeah.
Like, no one knows that they can't do something until you
Exactly.
show them, like, no,
Yeah.
you can't talk to me like that, or you can't treat me that way, or you can't put me in that box, or
Yep.
no, I'll only do this, or,
Yeah.
or this is what I feel like I'm worth. And if you don't feel that way, that's okay. Respectfully, I appreciate that,
Right.
but I'm a walk,
Yeah.
or what, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's like, I've definitely been tried many times. They try to put me in a box. They try to say, oh, we see him in this, we see him in that, and but I think what's most important, I guess, what I've learned and what I'm still learning is, how do you see yourself?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
that's
Like,
the whole word.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like how do you see yourself?
Mhm.
Because it's like, what everybody will tell you what they think you should be doing, and they'll tell you, like, where they oh, you remind me of this person, you remind me of that person, oh,
Yeah.
you kind of resemble a young this, like,
Or you're the next.
there's always,
blah, blah,
it's
blah.
very easy
Yeah.
for people to just compare you to a
Yeah.
thing that they know already, right?
Yeah.
But it's harder for you to be the first person.
Yeah.
It's harder for you to be the person that did that first.
Yeah.
And I think that starts with you saying to yourself, me saying to myself, like, yo, I understand this is what everybody sees me doing, but how do you see yourself?
Yeah.
What do you want?
If you have that foundation, right? And by the way, it's scary to tell people, like, nah, I'll walk away from this and
100%.
not be bluffing. Like, you mean it.
100%, yo.
You mean, because you
Like,
don't want to miss the opportunities, especially when you're in a space where there hasn't been when you're the first, when you're the only. Like, it's terrifying, but
You're like, will it come back around?
that part.
You know what I'm
that
saying?
That part. And, like, my parents, I don't know if you, like, so my family struggles with a lot of, like, the generational trauma, and it's not because it comes from a place of malice. They were trying to protect me, right?
Yeah.
Like, they only wanted to be successful coming to this country as immigrants, right? So they're like, all right, te tiene que alisar el pelo, you have to straighten your hair.
Yo,
and it wasn't
crazy.
because they didn't love me for who I was, but they're like, this is what's digestible to the mainstream here in the United States. So, like, we got to fit in as much as possible so that you can be okay, so you
Yeah.
can put food on the table.
Yep. I had somebody tell me to grow my hair out so I could be ethnically ambiguous.
Come on.
Yo.
You're like, first of all.
Yo,
Sir.
like, no, but I feel you.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to digest. But there's also so much beauty in what we bring to the table. And I'm glad that we're in a space where it's finally being, I won't say accepted, because the acceptance part for me is not paramount anymore. It was for a real long time. Now it's like, I'm celebrating it at every turn. And of course, we're here at the Super Bowl. I know that sports was a big part of your life too. Baseball for sure. You were a baseball player. You played DB at one point.
Yeah.
I was told. So
Yeah.
when you look around here and you're amongst, like, other athletes, for me in DR, like, baseball was everything. Right? It's like a religion almost.
PR too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like in the Caribbean in general. It's just that's baseball is life.
Literally.
But
it was also a way out.
It was. My brother played, my father played, my cousins played.
Oh my God.
Like, everybody, my whole family, like, that was
it.
Baseball was life, and it was our way of making something of ourselves. My brother was all state.
Dang.
He was he was one of the best players in the country.
Yeah.
And my cousin went on to play D1. He was an amazing pitcher and playing D1. I was gonna play college baseball, but then I told this story actually in an interview recently where I said I was in the outfield. I had finished my senior year. I worked mad hard. I had the highest batting average on my team in high school in my senior year after being benched the year before.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, I'm never letting that happen to me again.
Yeah.
And I went and I had a great season, but then I'm playing summer ball and I'm in the outfield. And I just had a moment where I was like, yo, this ain't it no more. I don't think
felt it.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't think this is it. And I had just started doing theater, but music was always my first love. But I like auditioned for what I thought was a talent show. It ended up being a musical in high school. I get a lead role. I was like, I don't want to do this. This is crazy. There's mad lines. I'm not gonna memorize. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I gotta be off book.
I gotta be off book. Like, yo, for real though.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even do my homework in high school, so it was like that was homework. Like,
Yeah.
I had to really like practice and work at that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, you know, I just dove in and I said, you know what? Let me try it. I've never done this before.
That's
And I just loved it, and I just kept going with it. And I think it was like finding the thing that I actually love. It was like I found the thing that I actually love more, if you know, this just as much, if not more, than playing ball.
That's wild.
You know, and it was almost like I started to cultivate my own identity apart from what my family thought I should do. Or you know, even my brother said to me one time, he was like, "Yeah, it was hard for me when you quit." You know, because
you didn't even know that side of it.
He told me, he was like, "It was hard for me when you quit because I really wanted you to keep going."
Damn.
You know, and that was, you know, and it's sometimes somebody else's dream for you is not.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, sports is, I still, that mentality like that.
It doesn't leave you.
That doesn't leave you.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, I was playing in a celebrity softball game recently and I was like, no, we're going to win.
Let's go. Right.
You know?
Let's go.
And, you know.
Starting lineup only.
Yeah.
I saw you dapping up Victor Cruz yesterday.
Yeah, I know Victor, yeah.
Obviously, he's well beloved from Giants fandom, but that
The most legendary catch of all time.
crazy. Right.
Crazy.
So, okay, so we can put that to rest,
Oh,
right?
100%.
Nobody has to argue that.
No.
But
He
you
caught it with his helmet.
nuts. It's wild.
Yeah.
But you didn't grow up a Giants fan,
No,
did you?
I'm a Jets fan.
So how do you square that? All right, that's my brother, otro boricua, but
I don't. You know what? I don't hate on the Giants when they in the play. Like,
yeah,
when you know, I wanted to win.
Yeah,
they made it to the playoffs. I was like, yes, let's go, Giants all the way. Let's get
right.
it. Like,
it's New York. Like,
it's New York.
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
enough.
even love to the Bills. Like, that's upstate, but you know,
and your division bowl.
Yeah, and
bowl.
I know bold,
Yeah.
right? But
it's okay. I'm a Dolphins fan, so I get it.
But if your team ain't in it, like, it's like, you know,
what are you gonna do?
I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna hate
That's hilarious.
on the people, you know, but you know, Jets all day.
Okay,
all
so
day.
let's clarify
Shout
that
out
real
to
quick.
Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson.
How they
taking on the
both
trophy.
get Rookie of the Year. Well, I love what they're doing over there. Robert Saleh, I knew him from when I covered the Niners over in San Francisco.
He's fire.
He's a great freaking coach.
He's fire.
And the guys buy in, as you can see, like they love him.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to even think about the matchup this Sunday, though, with the Eagles and the Chiefs?
I think I was just talking to my boy. I think it's gonna be a shootout.
They have been texting me all day from our social team. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna get this to you. They're like, we need your game pick. I can't pick. It's so hard. I'm gonna have to.
I mean, I'll pick for you. I think the Chiefs are gonna win.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
By conduit, by proxy, Anthony has picked for me. I love that for me.
I think.
Thank you.
You don't have to. MJ does not have to pick. You don't
Take
have
the
to
burden off of my shoulders. I
right.
appreciate
Yeah,
that so
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Before I let you go here, Anthony, I could talk to you for hours because I know there's a lot of layers here. How much salsa did you grow up dancing?
How
in
much?
Your house?
Wow. I mean, I grew up dancing in my house a lot. Yeah. I didn't take. It was.
I'm not technically trained, but like I gets down on like the street salsa game.
Yo.
For many years, I could only dance with my pops. So I was like, no, he's the only person I've been dancing with since I was like 3. But now I know that it
You get down to
translates.
salsa like
I
that?
do get down, but always. And like old school salsa, like Grupo Nietzsche, Victor
Oh,
Manuel,
wow.
like
Yeah.
La Salsa Romántica, which they don't even make anymore.
Right,
I
Tito
think.
Rojas.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
All of that. That's
Yo,
my shit.
I grew up dancing salsa later on. Like I didn't grow up dancing salsa like good.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to dance it okay now. Just after In the Heights.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I
to
bet.
learn how to dance on 2, which is different from dancing on 1.
It is different.
Anybody who dance salsa knows
They
that's
understand
two
that.
different things.
Mm-hmm.
And
by the way, like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Colombians, Cuban, like everybody dances their own
Different.
brand of salsa. It's wild.
different, crazy.
But
the
it's all
styles are
beautiful.
different.
Yes,
right.
but the beat is always there, and it will always be. And I'm so proud. Please tell me you watched the Grammys and Bad Bunny's opening.
Yo, Bad Bunny took over.
I almost
the
cried.
Grammys.
I was so happy.
I was like,
they will never see a performance
ever
like that again.
ever in the history.
shut it down.
Hopefully they do.
I mean,
Hopefully
yes,
they
every
do,
year.
you
How
know?
do you top that? You literally cannot.
Nah, he smashed that.
It was like
He's the biggest artist in the world right now.
period.
He's crushing it.
When you got
like,
Taylor Swift dancing merengue at the
Taylor Swift couldn't sit.
she didn't know. She didn't know
couldn't
what
sit
hit her.
down.
But they know now.
Look, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, yo, let's go. We here. Like
it.
that's what.
And we're not going anywhere.
Right.
Anthony, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. This has been phenomenal. Thank you for your insight and just sharing a little bit of your
Oh
story.
man,
with
thanks
us.
for having me.
Of
This
course.
was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.